from education to health to wellness to even issues on social justice. We not only talk about issues, but it's a space and forum where issues meet solutions. Welcome to the living room. Who's your Who's Who community leader of the week? Hello, and welcome to the living room. I'm your host, Shanna Van Ness, and today I'm here with Priscilla Edwards. Hi, Priscilla. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, I know you've written a book.
Yes.
Yes. So, I'd like for you to tell me about the book and what inspired you to write the book.
Okay, first let me just tell you the name of the book. It's called The Best Things in Life Are Dreams. Mm-hmm. And actually, what inspired me was growing up without a father and realizing that I had gained so much insight, so many lessons in life that you learn over the years. Mm-hmm. And reaching that 50 and over 50 age, I started thinking about, what do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to leave to my grandchildren? So because I have a love for reading, I've always thought, what would be, better than having them have that same love for reading? And also tying it into having that be done with their dads. And like I said, being that I wasn't raised with my father, I thought that this would be something that they could share together. And so, hence the book. That's pretty much how it came about, me thinking, what could I leave for them? Lessons that I've learned throughout my life that had I had my father with me, I might have learned them a lot sooner.
Okay.
But nonetheless, I did learn those lessons, and so that's pretty much what the book is about. It's aimed at males, encouraging them to read with their children, in particular, if they have sons, definitely with their sons, and to inspire them to dream. Okay,
great. And what age group is the book, let's say, targeted for? Any age group or?
Well, starting out, because I have grandsons that are 4 and 8, and now one that's 9 months old, my son and his wife, they had their first little boy together in December of last year. I really thought about having it be something that a young reader could read. And that's usually, I would say, depending on the child, maybe from kindergarten to like 3rd grade. But then I thought, well, even before the child begins to read, then the parent could read with them. Because the way the book is set up, the first 6 pages, the child reads once they, learn how to read. And then the rest of the book, the parent or the male would read with them. And certainly women, can read too, but the idea was try to encourage more men to read with the children.
Right.
And that's why a lot of the photos in the book, as you'll see, are of males.
Okay.
The cover actually is my grandson and his dad.
Oh, nice. Let's show this to the viewers again. Cover. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And all of the photos in the book are of males reading with a little boy, and then a grandmother with the children. So again, all of the photos, as you can see, are of little boys.
Right.
And I thought, that would really be nice. They could see themselves in the book and then, be inspired by that. And so that's pretty much
absolutely.
where I was going.
I love it. It's really making a connection and really building that connection and bond between fathers and their sons that sometimes doesn't exist. Even in this age in society, you have a lot of disconnected families. But I think this is great work that fathers can read with their sons, and as you said, mothers with their sons as well.
Right, and it doesn't even have to be directed at, considered broken families or homes. Even in a happy home environment where the dad is there, where they do read together, this would give them another option of something that they could read together. In the back of the book, there's a question, what do you dream of becoming? And they could either draw a picture, the child could list some things that he dreams of becoming, and revisit that as he gets older. And the way the book is set up, you know how when our parents would give us cliches when we were kids,
yes,
and would say, you know, don't write a check, you know, you're behind, can't
Yeah,
cash.
cash.
All those little things.
Yeah.
You didn't really understand it when you were a kid, but as you got older, you understood.
Yes.
So some of the lessons in my book may not be understood upon the first read.
Okay.
But the more the child reads the book, the more the dad explains. And that's the whole idea.
Okay.
You know, they'll think of something that maybe was stated in the book, and they'll be like, "Oh, I get it." You know, the light kind of comes
off like a trigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more they read it, the more they'll get from it. It's that kind of thing.
Got it. So, you know, you mentioned something interesting about the book and the question on what do you dream of. You're such a phenomenal woman. What were your dreams as a child?
One of my dreams, well, again, I wasn't raised with my dad. There was 8 of us in the family, and my mother always encouraged us to go to school.
Okay.
She didn't have a lot of education herself, but one of the things that she did instill in us was get your education, get your education, get your education. So I always had a love for school. I just love school. So I dreamed actually of just graduating and going to college. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but that was sort of like initially what I dreamed. And even to this day, I tell people, you know, I say, if I could get paid to just read
and go to school,
yeah, I would do that. I would love that.
I'm the same
I would
way.
love that.
Absolute same. Yeah.
But one of my dreams certainly was leaving something, like I said, for my grandchildren that would be worthwhile, where when they would think of me, they would think of me with warm feelings. And so, hence the book. And I'm real happy that I was able to self-publish and get that done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really awesome. Yes. So, you're not only an author, right? You've worked in higher education.
Yes.
In the past. Tell me your experience in that aspect of your life.
Okay, in higher education, I worked at mainly community colleges, but I also was working at four-year college as well. I worked in academic affairs, admissions. I also taught public speaking. A lot of times you find people are really reticent about speaking in front of others, and so that's where I had an opportunity to watch the students come in really afraid, and then to strengthen that and help them to understand that it's more about your audience as opposed to yourself.
Right.
Because when you really focus on the message, you tend to be less nervous.
Right.
And so those are some of the things that I did in higher education, and then now working in workforce development at the National Urban League, which is one of the oldest civil rights organizations. Yes. A lot of people hear the name but aren't as familiar with us as they should be. But again, we are like a grassroots organization, really trying to encourage and help the disenfranchised in the community, whether it's housing, whether it's good jobs, whether it's education, and those are the kinds of topics that we really try to support our community.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, what words of advice would you give some of our viewers who are watching, you know, this segment as it relates to really following their dreams and you know, stepping out on that skinny branch, you know, taking risks, being courageous, and inspiring others?
I would say the biggest thing I would say that's really important is to surround yourself with cheerleaders, other people that are going to support you. And some things it's okay to keep to yourself, because sometimes people don't really understand the dream, so they oftentimes will kind of ask you so many questions that it'll start to discourage you.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you believe in your dream, and again, you just keep moving forward. No matter how small those steps are, just don't stop. Just keep moving forward, one day at a time.
Right.
And I would say that's most important, because people that are going to encourage you when you are, you know, not feeling at your best or feeling like, you know, this is too difficult, really can keep you going in those tough times.
Right. So now, would you say you've had people discouraged you along the way? And if you had those people, what would you say to them now?
What would I say to them now? Well, I would say, though, that in terms of discouraging me, it wasn't that they did it intentionally.
Okay.
I would say that most people thought that feedback was helpful. But, there's a saying that says if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything.
Yes.
And although it might have been healthy criticism at times, depending on the individual, you could maybe be a little bit harder on yourself than necessary.
Right.
And even though they were giving you feedback, you try to evaluate it because some of it is helpful and it's useful.
Right.
But then there are times when you're going to just have to dismiss it and still move forward.
Right.
But it's always good to keep your ears open and try to be a good listener and take in information. But what I would say to those discouragers, I know you didn't really mean it.
Got it.
I know that you, in your own way, really were offering me something that you thought might help me move forward, whether it was in the direction I wanted to go or maybe in the direction that you thought I should go. I really believe that you were trying to be helpful, and I appreciate that because had it not been for that, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now. So I think all feedback, good or bad, it helped to make me stronger.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Now I'm going to jump back to the book
Sure.
for a few minutes.
Okay.
I know you indicated you recently went to a book signing.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell me about that experience?
Okay, that book signing was the Congressional Black Caucus, their legislative weekend. They have it in D.C. around this time every year. It was actually last weekend. And that went very well, actually. There are people from all over D.C. and other areas that come in for that. And this was at the Convention Center.
Okay.
And they have what's called an author's pavilion, and all the authors are there. And then the Howard University bookstore kind of handles the sales. And then I had an individual table where I had signings, and people can come up and ask questions about the book. Okay. So that was really nice. I made a lot of contacts that I was able to move forward with for selling the book on a larger scale. Nice. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to pan out. Okay. So that was really worthwhile.
Great, great. Yeah. So tell our viewers how they can actually purchase the book.
Okay, you can purchase the book from Amazon as well as the printing site where I have the book printed, and they're called Create Space, and that is www.createspace.com/ and then the number 534-3031. And that's how you can purchase it. You can also reach out to me if you would like to purchase it in large quantities. Again, my name is Priscilla Edwards, and you can find me on Twitter at bookpjj, or you can reach out to me on Facebook, and that is Better When Dreamed. I'm getting tongue-tied here.
That's okay.
So it's Better When Dreamed, and you can find me on Facebook and reach out, and you can purchase the book that way as well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Priscilla, for having me in your living room, on the living room. And we'll definitely share all of the links with our viewers on where they can purchase your book.
And thank you, Shanna. I really do appreciate it. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.